Elon Musk's Neuralink looks to begin outfitting human brains with faster input and output starting NE. The Elon Musk-led startup that the multi-entrepreneur founded in 2017, is working on technology that's based around threads, which it says can be implanted in human brains with much less potential impact to the surrounding brain tissue versus what's currently used for today's brain-computer interfaces. Musk also said that long-term really is about figuring out a way to achieve. For now, however, the aim is medical, and the plan is to use a robot that has created that operates somewhat like a sewing. All of this sounds incredibly far-fetched, and to some extent it still is. Neuralink scientists told in a briefing on Monday that the company has a long. The main reason for breaking cover and talking more freely about what they're working on, the paper reported, is that they'll be better able to work out in the open and publish papers, which is definitely an easier mode of operation for something that requires as much connection with the academic and research community as this. Neuralink co-founder and president Max Hodak told the NYT that he's optimistic Neuralink's tech could theoretically see use somewhat soon in medical use, including potential applications enabling amputees to regain mobility via use of prosthetics and reversing vision, hearing, or other sensory deficiencies. It's hoping to actually begin working with human test subjects as early as next year, in fact, including via possible collaboration with neurosurgeons at Stanford and other institutions. The current incarnation of Neuralink's tech would involve drilling actual holes into a subject's skull in order to insert the ultra-thin threads, but future iterations will shift to using lasers instead to create tiny holes that are much less invasive and essentially not felt by a patient, Hodak told the paper. Working on humans next year with something that meets this description for a relatively new company might seem improbable, but Neuralink did demonstrate its technology used on a laboratory rat this week, with performance levels that exceed today's systems in terms of data transfer. The data from the rat was gathered via a USB-C port in its head, and it provided about 10x more what the best current sensors can offer, according to Neuralink's advances versus current BCI methods also include the combined thinness and flexibility of the threads used, but one scientist wondered about their longevity when exposed to the brain, which contains a salt mix fluid that can damage and ultimately degrade plastics over time. Is bankrolling the majority of this endeavor as well as acting as its CEO, with $100 million of the $158 million it's raised so far coming from the SpaceX and Tesla CEO. It has 90 employees thus far, and still seems to be hiring aggressively based on its minimal website, which basically only contains job ads. Elon Musk also noted at the outset of today's presentation that the main reason for the event was in fact to recruit new talent.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.